Hey there, friends and fellow food enthusiasts. I'm Gene Hill, and welcome to our third episode of Denver Keto Dine and Dish. Today, we're talking about something that's really near and dear to my heart, and I think it probably will be yours too. We're talking about staying on track with the keto diet. Yeah, it's not easy. Now, why would I be the person talking to you about this? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. I am a lifelong dieter. That's what I am. And in the last 9 years, I've gone from 425 pounds, there'll be a picture somewhere, to 210. I'm not through with my journey yet, but I'm going to share the last bit of my journey with you. I've selected keto dieting to be the method I use to finish it up. It's working great for me. I've lost quite a bit using keto and intermittent fasting together. But today we're going to talk about, like I said, about staying on track with keto. It's not just about following a diet. It's really about transforming our lives, about transforming our health, about being the best that we can be, right? And so for whatever reason, however you've gotten to where you are, if you're on the journey to lose weight, this is a non-judgmental place where you can hang out, and we're going to talk about the struggles. I've been through all the struggles that you're going through. I still encounter them sometimes, but I've built a lot of what I call guardrails that keep me from falling off and falling off track. So I'm going to hopefully help you develop some guardrails too. So sit down if you can. If you're not sitting down, if you're walking or whatever, when you listen to your podcast, we are going to tackle this subject, and we're going to get kind of deep on it today. So I'm going to take a few minutes. We're going to get through this. Am I getting dry? Yeah. Thank you. A lemon water. Side note for another day. Lemon. You should drink a quarter cup of it every day. It helps drain the garbage out of your liver, particularly and kidney, actually. That's what we're talking about, kidney. It's oxalates. Oxalates are bad for some people. And for those of you, if you've not encountered oxalates before or have not had a problem, and when I say a problem, I mean stones. If you've not had stones, count your blessings, drink lemon water, and hopefully you'll never get them. Otherwise, just be careful about eating foods that contain oxalates. Side note, I'm talking today about staying on track with keto. The first topic that I want to talk about is your why. I'm sure you've heard this many times before, that you need a why. This is valid anytime you undertake a project or anything that is going to be transformative in your life. Your why is your motivation, right? So what I need you to do is think about reflection on yourself. If you haven't done this, if you haven't created your why yet, I want you to understand why this is important to you. It is the driving force. It is the reason you do what you do. And so when we want to talk about, let me share one little story with you. I was a smoker for about 23 years, and I probably quit 1,000 times. And if you're a smoker or have been a smoker, you understand exactly what I say. And it's not so dissimilar to eating, because every night when you go to bed, you say tomorrow when you get up, you're going to eat right? And then you don't. Somewhere along the way, maybe you do eat right for a meal or two, and then you fall off the track, or you get through a day or two before you fall off the track. But we all inevitably fall off the track. So this is why your why has to be really important. When I quit smoking, it was because of my child. That was my driving force. And interestingly enough, I used to put him in his playpen and have the television on with the Wiggles or whatever he was watching back in those days. And then I had a sliding glass door right there. So I would just step on the other side of the slider, smoke my cigarette, and go back in. And then one day he was just learning to talk, and he's understanding things. And he said to me, "Daddy, smoke a cigarette?" And I'm like, no. And I quit. That was the day I quit. After 1,000 times of quitting, my child, who I did not want to grow up thinking that smoking is okay, and I'm actually a role model for him. So I had to give it up. And so that was my motivator. So unfortunately, when it comes to diet and health, a lot of times what gets us started is vanity. We want to look better. Some of us start off wanting to feel better, or we have some sort of health crisis that gets us down the road. And to be honest with you, the health driver is a more powerful driver. This is the one that's going to really get you down the road. So it may be that you start with vanity because you want to lose a few pounds, you need to fit into some clothing, or you want to look better for the summer, or to take your shirt off, or whatever the deal might be. You need to feel better about yourself, right? But at some point that always fails. Our vanity, and that's probably because we're taught, particularly if you are a Christian, you were probably taught that vanity is not good, right? Vanity is a bad thing. And so it kind of plays with our self-esteem, and we have a bad relationship with our looks and vanity and what have you. So when you want to look better, you want to feel better, you kind of rationalize that bit of vanity is good for you. It's a motivator. But then when it gets right down to it and you're struggling with a craving, you go, well, maybe vanity is a bad thing anyway, and I shouldn't be on this journey for that reason. And then you kind of give up or take a break or whatever. But we don't want to do that. So, and also remember, it's okay if your why evolves. So that's why we're talking about the why here, is you can start off with the vanity, but change it over time. One of the things I've told my kid while he was in college and he couldn't quite figure out what in his area that he's studying, what he would be when he gets there. And one of the biggest motivators, of course, for any kid who is just entering college is getting a job that's going to pay you well. Pay isn't everything, right? It's just not everything. And so I would tell him, write your noble statement and hold to that statement and repeat it to yourself every day. Even if it's not true now, it will be. And so this kind of transition, not only does it happen on paper, does it happen verbally as you put this out, it happens in your brain. You actually will change the way you think, and you will learn to embrace this. So the struggle gets easier. And I know a lot of people are going to say, no, dieting gets harder as you get closer to your goal. It doesn't if you embrace a lifestyle that you can maintain and that you actually enjoy. And that's why I think you'll enjoy keto if you're not already on keto. It's a very enjoyable diet. And part of what I'm doing is teaching people some of my social media. We're learning how to make better recipes, make some good food at home. I'm also putting out a food truck right here just to show you how that goes. So if you haven't already done this, if you haven't created a why, if you don't know what your why is, if you're saying to yourself, I'm feeling like I don't know what my why is, or I have my why, but I still fail on my journey regardless, then I'm going to suggest that your why isn't quite strong enough yet. You haven't quite built it strong enough yet. You have some work to do. So you might want to take a break, go reflect just a little bit, and think about the real reasons that you need to live longer. What is the real reason you need to live longer? What is the real reason that as you live longer, you should be healthier? What are those reasons? Go think about that for a minute, and then I'll see you in the next part of this same talk, where we will be talking about, I have to have my notes here, picking the right diet. I'm going to talk about that. And now a word from our sponsor.
Do you wish to travel to Greece via your taste buds? Luckily, Hungry Gene has captured the authentic taste of Greece in our Greek seasoning. Even real Greeks love it. Tell us what you think, Mama.
Είναι πολύ ωραίο. Έχει μεγάλη γεύση.
we're pretty sure that means really, really good. Take a trip to Greece without ever leaving your kitchen. When the hungry gene strikes, feed it spice.
Welcome back. We're talking about how to stay on track with your diet. I'm Hungry Gene. Maybe I'll be becoming Keto Gene. Anyway, I have adopted the keto lifestyle, and you can rewind back if you're just jumping in the middle here and hear why I'm talking about this. I was a really fat guy, and I'm still kind of fat, but I'm not that fat anymore. Getting healthier every day, loving the keto lifestyle. So I just wanted to talk to you about choosing the right diet, because not every diet is right for every person. I will say, and also talk to your doctor. I mean, everybody knows that you should at least mention this. We don't always do it. Most of us probably don't do it at all. But before you start a diet program, you should speak to your doctor. Make sure that your doctor agrees with the diet program that you're going on. Make sure that you're getting sufficient supplementation and that you've got all your bases covered and you're not doing it. Improper dieting can really do the wrong thing to your health that you didn't mean to do. And so we don't want you to do that. So, before you select your diet, talk to your doctor. But if you are insulin resistant, type 2 diabetes, that kind of a person, if you have the belly fat and you know yourself, how do you eat? Do you eat a lot of carbohydrates and sugars? Are you attracted to that kind of stuff? Potato chips, desserts, junky foods, fast foods. I get it. I love that stuff immensely, but I'm committed to not eating it anymore. Keto might be your thing. And if that's true, subscribe to what we're doing here and follow us, and I'll continue to educate on keto, and I'll share resources with you of other teachers in keto, some of who I follow because they teach me what I need to know. So whatever diet, they all kind of work, particularly in the short run. For the first month or two, you can almost lose weight on any diet. What you find out is that they're not very sustainable. Any diet that you're going to succeed at, you're going to need to be able to stick to it. And sticking to it is a complex thing, but really a big part of it is picking the right diet. So we have found ways to get around carbs, and I do sugar-free everything now, and it's amazing. The sugar sweeteners, there's never been a better time to embrace a diet like this. They have improved artificial sweeteners using actual natural ingredients to achieve them. We use monk fruit with allulose. And if you know, monk fruit is a fruit, and there's this extract from that, which is very sweet. And then they blend it with allulose, which is another sweetener. Which is derived from figs and raisins and dates and those kind of things. And it's a wonderful sweetener. They do not have any of the bad effects on your body like those that are blended with erythritol, and even that's debatable as to whether they're harmful and in what quantities they would be harmful. So really, we have figured out how to get around and make things that seem to be carbohydrate but really aren't. And it makes your life quite enjoyable. And I invite you, if you're ever in the Denver area, please search out my food truck called the Urban Ketovore. And if you're not already into amazing keto food, I will cook some for you and feed it to you. Our next part I want to talk about with you is planning for challenges. You know they're going to happen, okay? And this is a lifelong journey, okay? We're going to fail, but we're also going to get right back up. We're not going to wait for the right day to happen. We're going to just tackle it right now, right? And if we fall off the wagon, we're getting back on it the very next meal. We are not going to wait for the first of the month or Friday. I used to be that guy too. I've been there. First of the month, can't start. First of the month has to fall on a Monday. That's the day I can start a diet. And they still don't work. So when you plan for challenges, and these are one of the ways when I said I like to call them guardrails. when you need some guardrails in place, because you know what your triggers are. You know, when you go home and mom has prepared a big meal and all the family's gathering, whatever that event might be, that you want to eat it all, right? But you can't, right? You shouldn't. You've changed your life, right? And so while you really want it, you know you shouldn't. And if you're committed to not doing it, you won't. So what do you do in those kind of instances? Well, I would say eat a protein and fat-rich snack before you go. Eat something very healthy. I love chocolate pudding made with avocados. You can eat half of an avocado's worth. It's probably a good cup worth of pudding. Very filling, very good for you. It's pretty much fat and chocolate, and it'll fill you up. You won't overeat while you're there. You will be pretty satisfied with a fat, which is one of the most satisfying things you can consume. And then you won't overdo it, right? Plus, take stuff you can eat, contribute to the get together. You know, you can say, I'm looking for support. I'm on a plan. A lot of things you make, I can eat. Some things I can't eat. I'm going to bring some things that I can eat, and I'm going to share them with you all too, right? So that's always be a great guest, no matter where it is. Bring food that you can eat and share it. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, which is kind of couples along with this, and I said, you know, ask your family for support. This is accountability. And accountability is a very interesting topic, because when you're kind of like an island to yourself and you don't want to be accountable to anyone, a lot of times you fail. Now, there are people out there who are super achievers, who are the motivators, right? They are the motivators. They don't need other people to motivate them. They motivate themselves. They're unicorns, man. Most of us don't have that much self-motivation to not need help. And so when I say giving accountability over, and I mean to that person, you know who that person in your life is, who doesn't judge you, who accepts you who you are. That's probably the person I'm talking about. Go to that person and say, I need you to help me. And the way I need you to help me is to gently nudge me back on track if you see me falling off. Because you're the person I can hear it from. You're gentle with me. You don't hurt my self-esteem when you say it. You don't hurt me in my soul. And so I'm giving you permission. If you see me venturing off or getting a little crazy, you're the person I'm giving permission to gently nudge me back on track. And that, having a person like that can be very beneficial in your life. And it can't usually be your spouse or your significant other, because that person, you don't really want them commenting on your weight, or, you know, because it can hurt your feelings if they don't say it right, and whatever. And so you don't let that person be the one. You know who the person is. Reach out to that person and invite accountability. Tell them, I give myself to you for this purpose of weight loss. I want you to ask me on a regular basis how I'm doing. And I want you, if you see me not doing it, to ask me why and help me get through it. Not everybody can do that for you. Some people will really offend you, hurt your feelings if they try to do that. So pick that person carefully. Give yourself over to some accountability. By the way, and it's like how personal training works, right? Like, you probably can do all the exercises without the personal trainer, but you kind of need that. I paid this person, they're a professional for this reason. I kind of embarrass myself if I don't show up for the appointment, and I spent money on it that I don't get back if I just decide not to show up or do it, right? So that being said, if you want me to be your accountability partner, I'm for hire. I will call you. I will talk you through it. I'll help keep you on track. I charge for the service, okay? That being said, let's talk about realistic goal setting. A lot of times we get this burst of energy, and it's kind of like probably right after you just ate a really big meal and you're really full, and you're sitting there going, I can't eat another bite. And that's probably when you get really idealistic about what you're going to do tomorrow and how you're really going to tackle your diet tomorrow, and you're going to do this thing, and you're going to lose all this weight because you feel really motivated now. Of course you do, because you feel like throwing up and you wish you hadn't eaten so much, right? You have to make your goal setting happen at a time where you're being realistic about what's going on with you and where you want to go and how this is going to work. Don't do it when you're excited. You'll set unrealistic goals. You'll set goals you can't keep because you'll think you're going to go to the gym tomorrow and work out. You're going to do 20 minutes on the treadmill and then hit some weights for half an hour, hit all the body parts, and then go cool down on the treadmill again, or maybe on the bicycle or elliptical, and then you'll be good, right? Yeah, it's like 2 hours out of your day, and you've been used to spending 0 out of your day doing it. So that's not a very realistic goal, and you're going to be exhausted, and tomorrow you won't want to do it. So I'm going to tell you about a guy. I don't know if you know who Darren Hardy is. If you don't, look him up. He wrote a book called The Compound Effect, and I really like this book. And basically what he says is that if you want to change a habit, you should start with an absurdly small amount. So I'm talking like going to the gym. Let's say going for a walk. And he uses this example. Day one, you just put on your walking shoes and then take them off. Sounds absurd. You might even be tempted to skip that day because it sounds so absurd, but don't skip. Take all the steps. The next day, make sure you get dressed, you put on your tennis shoes, you walk out the door, and you come back and you go, wow, that doesn't even feel like it was worth getting dressed for, right? But the next day you're going to go walk down to the mailbox and come back. And then the next day you're going to walk to the stop sign and back. And then every day you're going to add just a few extra steps to your walk. And if you add a few steps every day, before you know it, you're walking a mile. You're walking 2 miles. And it was easy. It wasn't hard because you only added 1 step a day or 2 steps a day. It's a ridiculously small change. So you can do this same method with your weight loss. Start making some simple changes that will make lifestyle change permanent for you. And you do it with ridiculously small steps. And you may start first by adding things to your diet. That's what I would recommend. Instead of taking things away, let's start by adding. Let's add drinking more water. Let's add the walk. Let's add, a salad if you're not eating salads already. And then as we'll start refining it and removing things later. But we'll start by just adding things, right? When you do these little baby steps like that, you get these little psychological wins, right? Even if you think that it's ridiculous and you almost want to laugh at yourself, these little steps create patterns. They create muscle memory. They create a routine that is new to you, and it will help you do it. These little wins every day that you take the 1 extra step, it's a little win. It helps you feel more successful. Before you know it, your own success will take your own breath away because you will look back and go, wow, I've come a long distance. It'll take you a while. You'll see it. So inevitably you're going to have a setback. And we talked about that. We talked about how we're staying on track. But we know that everybody has a setback. But one of the things that I want you to do is not only should you be journaling the food that you eat every day, but you should also be tracking what's going on in your life kind of around your food so that you can figure out what is it that causes your setbacks. When you go and eat that thing and you go, I just can't resist it, I've got to have it, and you do it. What is it about that situation that left you feeling powerless to say no to that food. This is something only you know for yourself. A therapist can talk to you about those kind of things too. Some of us have had things that happened to us even in our childhood that affected our self-esteem and our growth and development and the way we thought about ourselves, and we just have a lot to get over, and so this is a lifelong journey. Part of it is really getting to know yourself and understand what causes you to take those actions that sabotage your own success, right? And definitely, if it's beyond you to figure those things out on your own, seek therapy. There are people out there that will gladly help you. When you do have a setback, I want you to think of this as a learning opportunity, an opportunity to overcome a challenge, don't get beat up by it, because that'll cause you to avoid what you're doing. And you don't need to do that. Don't beat yourself up. Just reset immediately, get back on track immediately. Call the accountability partner if you need to just talk through something. Talk to a therapist if you need to. I'm a big proponent of therapy, especially if it's related to things that happened early on in your life. So take that, let it be your strength, right? Let it help you to gain your resolve and push through it. Also, I wanted to talk about the quality of food. You're going to want to find things that you can cheat with. There's a lot of stuff out on the market now. Keto's really taken off, and there's a lot of things out on the market these days in terms of snack foods and all. And I've tried a lot of them, and they're really quite delicious. But they're also full of chemicals. They are prepackaged food. So if you're really going to do a keto diet, at some point at first you just want to see some weight loss. I get it. But then as you have to tweak the diet, you're going to want to refine it. We're going to make a lot of refinements to the diet. And the purpose behind that is that we want it to be healthy. We want to be healthy. And so we have to pay attention and learn about the diet, about how to structure our meal plans so that it feeds us, nourishes us, takes care of us. You'll want to add things like, for snack foods, you'll want to make things like kale chips. Now, I see a lot of people out there using, you can dry out pepperonis and stuff like that and make little chips out of them and stuff. But you do have to be careful of too much sodium and too much, you can get too much protein. Ketogenic is high fat, moderate protein, adequate protein, you may say, and then a very low carb, right? So when you do eat carbs, you want them to be super high quality. That's why changing your taste buds is really important. You're going to have to struggle with this at the beginning. You're going to have to struggle to break that sweet tooth. You're going to have to struggle to break the salty tooth, whatever it is you have. But you will get past it. And we'll find these things that we can do to help. So things like kale chips or some dehydrated vegetables, you have to be very careful which ones you're eating. We are very limited on keto to which vegetables and fruits we're allowed to eat. So you'll want to make sure you learn that. And the other thing is, when you combine intermittent fasting with keto, it can seem almost magical, right? Like in a few months, I've lost weight that would probably cause a lot of people to wonder if I'm on semaglutide or something. I'm not using any weight loss drugs at all. It's totally just sticking to the combination of those two plans. And my motivation was to get healthier. I was having a lot of anxiety, a lot of sleep problems, sitting up at night, having anxiety while I was sitting up by myself at night. And then I ran across something on television talking about the relationship between food and mental health. And I decided that it was worth it for me to investigate further and to really put some energy into my weight loss and get a grip on it. And I really discovered sugar to be the enemy. And cutting out sugar from my life has been really life-changing. And so I've kind of committed myself to creating a lot of recipes that use monk fruit and allulose sweeteners and substitutes for flour so that I can enjoy the food that I eat. I'm a foodie. I'm a restaurateur. I love food. So my food needs to be delicious, but it also needs to be healthy for me and support my journey to a body weight that is comfortable for me and is anti-inflammatory. I was starting to have arthritis, but now that I've been sugar-free for a few months, my aches and pains have significantly improved. So I would suggest you give that a try. Picking up more activity in your life is also very important. A lot of people, congratulations to whoever that drug company was that did the commercial during the most recent awards. With the red carpet, whatever award that is. I don't watch any of the awards, so I don't really care. But I saw this particular commercial on the news where they were basically saying Hollywood didn't do you a favor by showing you that you could drop 20 pounds by having this injection. They kind of showed you that there was this magical pill. And a lot of people have gone out and used the product and would agree that it seems like a magic pill. But you also see some very confusing information out there when you see advertisements where a person is eating pizza and cupcakes and they're thin and beautiful and they apparently did it with semaglutide. Just so you know, those drugs are beneficial for helping you change your lifestyle, not the magic pill that you want it to be. We all want the magic pill that would just make us thin, beautiful, and perfect without ever having to do any effort other than swallow the pill, right? So what I really want you to understand is that there is no magic pill. You are going to transform your life. If you're going to succeed on this journey, you're going to transform yourself. You're going to transform yourself. And you're going to do that by changing your diet. Use that compound effect that I told you about. You know what? I'll look up on Amazon and put a link to the compound effect down below. If you haven't read that book, you can get it. It's a pretty easy read. It's not super long. And but then you'll understand. It'll kind of reinforce what I was talking about taking these baby steps and turning, making goals actually reality, right? And so pick an exercise. The magic pill that doesn't exist, you have to exercise. You have to increase your activity. Pick it something you like. If it's walking through the forest or if whatever you like. As long as it's moving your body, you are doing something beneficial for yourself. So you pick that out. So in conclusion, I just wanted to say to you that, this is a journey of transformation. I'm looking to work or inspire and help people on my journey who are at that place in their lives where they really want to get serious and really tackle it once for all and change the way you live your life in terms of food and exercise. And I want to help you. I will put a link below or we'll flash it across here somewhere. I have a page that you can go to on social media called Gourmet Keto Quest, or is it Keto Gourmet Quest? Keto Gourmet Quest. We'll show you that link there. We do recipes there, and I have Hungry Gene is also one of my pages. And we're now doing a lot of keto recipes for you to help you on this journey. I want you to just follow me, comment with things that you would like for me to address, and I'll work to put it out for you because I really want you to succeed. I want you to feel what I feel inside right now as I am getting close to my goal, and my body is feeling better, and my clothes are starting to fall off of me and again, and it's energizing, and I want to share that with you. I want to inspire you. I want to help you. So I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Denver Keto Dine and Dish. Take care.